Okay. Yay! Hello and welcome to this January energy update. I'm gonna redo that intro. Oh my gosh. Hello and welcome. We're gonna redo this intro. I wasn't recording. I forgot to mute the video. Oh my gosh. This is totally Mercury retrograde in action right here. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this January 2023 energy update. It's 2023 now. Literally, it's like 10 minutes after midnight as I'm doing this on YouTube Live. Thanks for being here. I'm going to switch a few things around so I'm not looking at myself on YouTube as this is happening. Okay, amazing. So big things are in store for January. I'm going to cover some specifics in astrology and human design as well. Want to preface again by mentioning there is a Mercury retrograde until the 18th in Capricorn. It will stay in Capricorn the whole time. I believe it doesn't move into Aquarius until the middle of February or end of February, I want to say. So Mercury's going to be in Capricorn for a long time. We also have the Mars retrograde ending on the 12th of January. And then we have the Uranus retrograde ending on the 22nd of January, which the 22nd of January is actually the solar new year. And this is from the Chinese New Year, as well as Human Design, which goes off the I Ching, which is in alignment with the Chinese New Year, because technically the solar new year begins. Oh, it's cool. There's fireworks. The solar new year begins when the sun enters into gate 41, which is in Aquarius, and that will happen on the 21st or the 22nd, depending on where you are in the world. Technically, it's January 22nd in universal time. So just double check your time zone for when that happens. You can just Google Rave New Year to know when that's going to happen for your time zone. But I just wanted to preface with those things. Those are kind of like the major things of January, I'll say, is that we have 3 planets in retrograde still, and that's really going to be the energy of most of the month leading up to the solar new year and leading up to all planets finally being direct. So all of the internalization, all the reassessment, all of the just reflecting we've been doing with our communication, with how we're taking action, with the changes and the innovations we want to make in our lives, that is all going to start to become external. That is going to start to become a focus on outside of you. It's no longer going to be about reflecting and reassessing. It's going to be about taking action on those changes, taking action towards changing your belief system, changing your thought patterns, and taking inspired action, because Chiron is in Aries right now and has been for a while. We're all as a collective learning how to heal our relationship with building confidence through taking action and learning how to put that voice of the ego, of survival, of fear, of anxiety in the back seat and lead with action, because action is really what builds confidence and action is really what moves us forward. It's not fear or anxiety. That's what holds us back, right? So that's been a big theme as well. That's going to bring, the energy of January is going to bring that up for a lot of people to heal and to act on making those changes in your life. So these are just some overall themes of January. We have a full moon in Cancer, which is going to be on the 6th of January, which will be about healing any wounds related to the divine feminine, to feminine energy in our lives, to our intuition, to our ability to nurture and care for ourselves in the way that we need in order to feel nurtured, to feel supported, and to be healthy and to be balanced, thriving, functional human beings. So that's what the full moon in Cancer is going to bring up. Consult your chart for where you have Cancer, for what area of the life that's going to affect for you. That's just the general energy it's going to bring up, is themes around intuition, divine feminine, maybe family healing as well. And then we have the new moon in Aquarius right before the solar new year on January 21st, which I believe is going to be in gate 60 in Human Design, which is where Pluto is going to be all year. And this is something I wanted to really touch on too in my 2023 update, which will probably be coming a few days from now. I don't need to go into the nitty-gritty details of that, why that's delayed, but anyways, so 2023 is not only a Neptune year that we're heading into now, as it's a 7-year, and 7 is related to Neptune in numerology, which is all about spirituality, right? Intuition, spiritual awakenings, dreams, also veils being put up. But because Pluto will be in Capricorn and Aquarius on and off throughout the year and staying in gate 60, I feel like as a collective, we're really going to not everything that's been veiled from us is going to be the truth is going to come out. And I feel like it's going to be around the things that have limited us, that have kept us stuck. And there's going to be a lot of healing and transformation and truth that comes to light around those things. There's also this big theme as we head into 2023 of knowing when you're on, honoring that period of being on, and honoring the period when you're off, right? The gate 60 is in the root center. And the root is a pulse. It's a pressure center to do, but it's also a pulse. It's either on or it's off. And there's no rhyme or reason or mechanism to why it's on or off at certain times. It just is. That's how it operates. And that's how our transformation is going to occur this year. And that's how we're going to move forward in our lives, is honoring those off times and honoring those on times, and doing as much as we can during the on times that are going to help us have more peace with when we just don't feel on anymore. That's going to be a big theme of 2023, to give you guys a sneak peek of my 2023 update. But so this new moon in Aquarius will be in that gate. So we'll be setting new intentions, new beginnings around that energy, right? And making innovations in our lives and setting up structures and foundations, which is what this Mercury and Capricorn transit is all about. Reassessing our foundations, our structures in our lives, and making the changes we needed so that we need to make, so that we have a solid foundation on which to stand, right? So for me, I'm producing a lot of content right now that I can just when I'm in my off times, I can still put out content I've created weeks and months ago, maybe even upwards of a year or more ago, and that I can keep producing and outputting, even though I'm not having to constantly be in creation mode. So I'm building more of a structure and a foundation of, and this is this full moon in Cancer will be my 10th house. So I feel like this will solidify around then, of having a better work-life balance and having a better way to respect those on and off periods, and having a foundation of that, having a structure of a plan of what I do when I feel off, so that I don't have to push and force myself to constantly create, because honestly, it's exhausting to create so much content. I love it, but I need breaks. I need periods where I'm not doing that so much. So that's where I'm right now, building a structure and a plan, Capricorn energy, to have that foundation on which to stand, so that when I feel off, I can still produce and create and share information with you guys. So that's how that's showing up for me. Again, full moon on the 6th, new moon on the 21st. The full moon will be in, let's see, what gate will that be in Human Design? I got my trusty ephemeris here. 53. I know 52 is vitality. I don't remember what 53 is. Let me consult my own ebook for this, because that is literally the easiest way to look up the gates. I believe that's in, oh my gosh, I'm having such a brain moment right now. Yeah, no, 53 is in the root. That's part of the format energies, as well as 60 is. So with all these format energies, there's a big chance for feeling depression or feeling melancholy during this time of like not knowing what to do, not knowing how to move forward. Oh, 53 is beginnings. So we're going to like release anything that has been holding us back from starting something new in our lives, whether that's a fear, whether that's a belief, whether that is a literal like physical limitation. Like for me in my life right now, I just moved and I realized after a few weeks of being here, this is the beauty of electromagnetic channels, that energy fades, and then you're left with the reality of, oh, this actually isn't that great. So I'm looking to move pretty soon. That's one way that this is showing up for me, is like setting an intention around like having a better environment that's more conducive to my weird schedule of being up most of the night, and also that's conducive to like my energy, where I get to sleep in my own aura, and I feel like that's a way that I'm limited right now. So like I'm really having to learn how to, this is so 132, it's like I'm really learning how to take advantage of the opportunities I have to create away from that energy, because my home is just not a great place for me right now when my housemate is there, and it's been really tough. Just the pervasive like conflict that hasn't been able to be resolved. And like that's the energy of 2023. Not to say that that's going to happen for you, but there's just going to be these small little setbacks that seem like limitations. And the lesson of gate 60 is all about learning how to, and this is going to be a big theme this month as we have the new moon in Aquarius, right? In this gate is going to be learning how to accept your limitations and accept when you have the energy to do things versus when you don't, right? And like making the most of the time that you do have when you do feel like doing things, or when you do have the opportunity to do it and you're not limited by any circumstance. Okay, so those are the moon transits for January. Let's get into some specific dates here. So today on the 1st of January, or whenever if you're listening to this after the 1st, then look back on the 1st and be like, oh, I wonder how this showed up for me. Because we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. And again, Mercury is in retrograde most of the month. So this is going to just feel like a month of not really moving a whole lot, like not really moving forward a whole lot in your lives until everything leaves retrograde, right? And then we have the solar new year and we'll all collectively be beginning a new cycle together. But this is like the energy of January is just like wrapping up the old, realizing like how you need to change your mindset or just remove yourself from certain conflicts or certain mental challenges in order to have more peace. A lot of us too, as we're heading into a Neptune year, are learning the importance of meditation, and how deeply impactful meditation can be, and having a spiritual practice, whether it's meditation or yoga or taking walks in nature consistently, like having some sort of practice to clear yourself is so important. And that's a really big theme of this month and really the whole year of 2023. And if you can do your best to make that a structure, make that routine now, as we have all this Capricorn energy that's supporting you in doing that, 2023 will be so much easier, mark my words. So on the 1st, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. Neptune has been in its home sign of Pisces. And this is going to feel like there's just a mental fogginess on the 1st, on New Year's Day. Like there's just a mental fogginess. There also could be a really good opportunity to clear that fogginess again through meditation, through some sort of spiritual practice. It's like, okay, what do I do to combat these racing thoughts? Or what do I do to feel more at peace with this? Meditation. I like literally, that is like my word for 2023. I guess I'm going to say it so much, like I'm going to sound like a broken record, but seriously guys, meditation is your best friend. And while Mercury's in retrograde, and for 2023 as well, even if it's just like you start with 5 minutes, like keep it small, keep it manageable, and then scale up from there, but really make it a practice, because it's going to support you tremendously this month and this whole year, and like moving forward really in the rest of your life. Then on the 2nd, we have Venus entering Aquarius. So things might just be feeling more like, oh, I want to make these innovations. I want to make these changes. Maybe making, kind of revisiting your finances, revisiting your relationship with technology. Maybe even since Mercury is retrograde in Capricorn, right? Reframing your structure around your finances, your relationship with social media. Like an example of this could be, like you want to start a business, right? Or you've taken action towards starting a business and you haven't gotten around to creating content yet, like on social media, like putting yourself out there, like you have an offer, right? You have a website, but you don't have a way to get clients to find you because you haven't been creating content. This is like the energy of like, okay, I need to reframe my mindset around this, and look at it as something that's fun, looking at it as something that's going to just like help me connect with my ideal people, like my right people. Like I started TikTok because a generator convinced me, because he was so excited about TikTok. I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. Like before I had been like, that's dancing videos and that's for like high school students. Like I don't get TikTok. Like what's the point? Like that's stupid. Literally, that was my opinion on TikTok before I met this guy who was a generator and so excited about TikTok. Like that is his main like thing with business coaching, is he coaches people on TikTok and how to go viral on TikTok. And he was like, you need me on TikTok, TikTok, la, 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 la. And I was like, fine. Like you're so excited about it and I can just see your passion, like generator, I'll give it a shot. So I just started doing it for fun. And then I was like, I just want to talk about astrology. I just want to see what I like on here and who, I find that I resonate with and who I can connect with. And it has connected me with so many awesome people. Like 90% of I got to start saying last year now. This is crazy. 90% of my clients from last year came from TikTok. And I have just met so many amazing people, clients, friends on this platform. And like, I'm so grateful that I started putting out content and just like went for it and put myself out there. And that's like this energy of like, there's just a change that you need to make, that there's just been a need for a mindset shift around. And having a plan in place, having a structure, having a like just way that you can be disciplined to that and committed to that is going to help you tremendously. And it's not only going to help you, like this is Aquarius, it's going to help the collective, it's going to help humanity. Like it's about finding your tribe, finding your people, finding where you belong on the internet and who you belong with. And it's going to require you to take some action. And as we get more into the rest of January, that's just going to come to a head, especially when we have the Venus Saturn conjunction on the, when is that? On the 22nd, actually, on the solar new year, we have the Venus Saturn conjunction. This is like, I did not realize all these things lined up like this. This is insane. And then Uranus goes direct on that day too. Like, oh, my chapstick just fell over. That was a message. Like that's confirmation that this is an important day. Like everything we do leading up to the 22nd this month is like helping us create a better structure in our lives, helping us reframe a lot of things so that we can move forward. And it's not like we're really starting anything new, right? The full moon in Cancer is going to be in the gate of beginnings, and a full moon ends a 6-month cycle. So you might have started this or had intentions to start this thing around when would that have been? July? Yeah, with the new moon in Cancer in July or June or July. Like set intentions around, okay, I want to do this. I want to act on this. I have this idea. I want to do it. I want to put it out into the world, right? I want to share myself this way. I want to create this business. And this whole past 6 months has been just building up to this moment where it's like, now I see how to take action towards it. Now I have the structure, the foundation, everything I need in order to make this successful and stay committed and disciplined and dedicated to it, right? Big Saturn energy this month. It's like, this isn't just instant gratification results. This is like, you put in the time, you put in the work, you put in the energy, and it pays off for the rest of your life. That's what Saturn really is like long-term success, because you have built a foundation on which to stand. Okay, so Venus enters Aquarius and starts through the wheel of Aquarius again. It will enter, so Venus starts a new cycle on the 5th of January in gate 41, which is the start codon, which starts us on a new cycle collectively. This is where the wheel in human design begins, so to speak. It begins with gate 41. And this is why the whole 2027 prophecy is such a big deal, because Pluto will be in this gate. And Pluto is moving into Aquarius this year, but I'll get into that in my 2023 update. Let's just stick with January. I've gotten off on so many tangents already. The first few days of January too will feel like, you know, we're going to have the sun in Capricorn in gate 38, which is the gate of, I believe it's called struggle. I don't remember the exact keynote of this gate, but I know it's one of the channel of struggle. So there's just going to, oh, it's the fighter. That's what it is. So we're just going to be feeling like the first kind of 5 days of January might be a little aggressive. They might be a little bit like you're fighting for your sanity. You're fighting for a foundation. You're fighting to have structure in your life. And again, like where you have Capricorn in your life is, or where you have Capricorn in your chart is the area of life that this is going to show up for you. For those of you that are in my AstroHD membership, you know what that is, because I go super deep into the horoscope of your rising sign for January and into what house all of this is affecting for you based on your rising sign. But, you know, consult your chart to see where you have Capricorn. For me, it's in my home. And I know the next few days are going to be a little bit rough in my home life. But it will pass, as all things do. Then on the 6th, let's see, we have that full moon in Cancer, which will be in gate 53, like I said, and then we'll have the sun in gate 54, which is the gate of vitality. So we fought, right? We fought we fought for our foundations. We fought for, you know, our livelihood. We fought for our principles, our values, our what we want to commit ourselves to, what we want to dedicate ourselves to. And once the sun moves into gate 54, it's all about finding our joy through that foundation, through what we're fighting for, right? It's like, are you fighting for conflict, or are you fighting for your joy? That's kind of like the energy of the second week of January when the sun moves into gate 54. And full moon in Cancer too might be a bit of an emotional one. It might bring up a lot of emotions around just your drive, your willingness to push forward, and kind of just like releasing any melancholy or releasing any depression around like timing, because it's all divine timing. And you know, you're not on the wrong track just because your journey doesn't look like someone else's. So that's going to be a big energy around the time of the full moon too, is like releasing any like energy of you being hard on yourself or being overly self-critical about your timing. Because literally, like I've said, the 22nd is going to kind of pull us all into the right timing, right? This first 3 weeks of January are just about wrapping things up and closing out cycles and reflecting on the changes we want to make and how we can move forward in like a better way and work smarter and not harder. So that come the 22nd, we know what to do to move forward and not just like spin our wheels in the mud. It's like we've learned, oh, okay, I need to put a plank under you know, like if y'all watch The Handmaid's Tale, I think she did this to like get the car out of the mud. Like you put like a plank of wood under the wheel to like help your car have leverage to get out of the mud. So it's not just like spinning. Like that's kind of what we're learning right now, maybe through a little bit of trial and error. I mean, we will have the nodes, excuse me, the nodes moving into the third line on the 11th. So it might require a little bit of trial and error to learn what is needed in order to get our car out of the mud, right? But we're going to have that knowledge moving forward, and things are going to be so much easier and happen so much more quickly as well. I need to plug in my laptop so it doesn't die. One second. Okay. So where was I? I mean, also too, this was something that was coming up in all of the horoscopes that I did for those of you in my membership. There's a lot of sextile and trine energy this month. There's a lot of sextiles between Chiron and Jupiter and Venus and Neptune, and a lot of trines. Did I mention that already? I mean, there's more sextiles than trines, but there's a lot of that aspect this month. So this month is going to kind of feel like things might slip you by if you're not acting on the opportunity, right? If you're not listening to your intuitive hits and listening to your intuitive nudges, then these things might slip you by. And literally this month might slip you by if you're not meditating and cultivating an awareness of like what your intuition is communicating to you and how you can take action on that in the moment to align with these opportunities that are going to bring a lot of harmony into your life this month. And it's going to be between, your expansion, your finances, your communication, like your thought patterns and your beliefs as well. So with Mercury and Capricorn, this is like restructuring your brain. It's like restructuring your belief systems and really changing your thought patterns. And meditation is such a beautiful way to do that. I mean, yes, you can do it through hypnosis and through breath work, but I think meditation honestly is one of the best ways like to do that on your own, because literally all you do is breathe and watch your thoughts and you see what comes up, you see what thoughts come into your head, and then you can take those to your journal or just talk out loud, like if you're a self-projected projector, or you can do both and like reframe those beliefs and change them. That's really what Mercury retrograde is all about, especially this one being in Capricorn. Like, how can you change your mental structure? Because that's going to change the literal structure of your life as well. And like I said before, help you to work harder and work smarter. Oh my God, no, not work harder. Work smarter, not harder. And this is Saturn energy too. Like, I feel Capricorn gets this rap of being a workaholic, but they don't love to work hard. They love to work smart and create success through working smart and efficiently. So that's like this energy for most of January as we have the sun moving through Capricorn. On the 9th, we have a harmonious aspect between Venus and Mars. So this might be something to take action towards in your finances. That might be online, like an investment, like NFTs, that kind of thing, crypto, or in your local community, like invest in someone's business or have someone invest in your business, that kind of thing. Like, it's like there's an opportunity to get support from your local community when you like voice that you need it, right? When you put yourself out there and take the action to connect with people and to network with people and to be like, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm looking for this. Like, that's when you can find these amazing opportunities that there's great harmony for during this time. And that's on the 9th. On the 11th, there might be something that comes up between either in your head or a physical, like a verbal conversation with someone that is going to create a conflict and a challenge between your ability to feel like you can take action towards what you want. And it's going to ultimately lead to your healing, and it's ultimately going to lead to your growth. Like, I made a TikTok about this recently. Excuse me. I just ate dinner and like the light. I wish there was lighting for indirect people, because like the fact that this is, it's bothering me, but here I am. I want you guys to be able to see me because it's kind of weird if I'm just here in the dark. What was I saying? Healing, growth. Oh, squares. Squares are good because trine energy, like people that I've known that don't have any squares in their birth chart are like the most sheltered people I've ever met. They cannot deal with challenges. They cannot deal with conflict. They like the energy of like always getting their way. They don't know how to handle like compromise or conflict with people, and don't know how to like be in a conscious like compromise with someone. So I feel like squares are really good because yes, they, the surface, I'm looking at the moon right now. It's freaking beautiful. At the surface, squares look bad, right? But they create conflict and challenges that ultimately leads to growth and builds resilience. So this is going to be something that's going to bring up something at like a belief system, a thought pattern, a way of communicating that is ultimately going to lead you to healing. And you're going to have to revisit this at the end of January. After Mercury goes direct, it will square Chiron again on the 27th. So on the 11th is like an internal kind of reflection. And on the 27th, it's going to be presented to you on the external outside of yourself to take action on that healing and take action on what was brought to you on the 11th to look at and reframe around this thing. And again, check the area of life that you have Capricorn and Aries, what house you have these signs in, because that's going to tell you what area of life this is going to show up for you. Like I said before, I do give monthly horoscopes that are super in-depth in my AstroHD membership, and I go into, based on your rising sign, what area of life this is going to show up for you the most, and what two areas, because this is affecting two areas of your life, what two areas are going to be conflicted, and where there's going to be challenge based on this transit for this day. So you do it yourself, which I recommend as a teacher, but I also give horoscopes in my membership. And then on the 12th, we have Mars going direct. Thank the Lord. Finally, Mars is moving forward again in Gemini. So this is, you might be feeling more social. You might be feeling like just going out more. You might be feeling like doing more things, connecting with more people, going to coffee shops, meeting people, just being more chatty and conversational again, like back how it was end of August, and September. You're going to be feeling that again. So exciting news for the 12th and onward. And then, like I mentioned earlier too, on the 18th, we have Mercury going direct. Woo! Time to make changes that were brought to your attention as it relates to your structure, your foundation. This is a really good transit for business owners too. This has been a really beneficial transit for me so far, of like learning the changes I want to make to the content I'm creating and how I want to streamline it, how I want to put things in places for you guys that are more easily accessible to you, and have it be more structured, Capricorn, so that it's not like so confusing and overwhelming to learn from me. I want to make it really simple and really easy to access my teaching, my classes, my courses, and all of the content that I create all the freaking time. That's everywhere. So like I said, this is a really beneficial transit for business owners because Capricorn kind of rules that. And the structure and the foundation around having a business. Then on the 20th, we have, first. Also on the 18th, we have Sun conjunct Pluto, which will really create, this might feel like a really tiring day too, because it's going to create this like illumination of a truth that you need to transform, that you need to like move on from. It's going to bring something up that's like, okay, I really need to transmute this shit and learn this lesson so that it doesn't keep repeating itself. So that happens the same day that Mercury goes direct. And my God, we just had, it's probably still going on, a Venus-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, and bringing up a lot of maybe, I don't want to say conflict, but just bringing up some things in terms of your relationships, your finances that need to be transmuted as well, because that's all the things that Venus rules, and living from the new sense of self and worthiness that you've created this past year, because we just left a Venus year and it went out with a bang with Venus conjunct Pluto. So this is showing you what needs to shift, what needs to die as it relates to your old sense of worthiness and your old value systems and your relationship with money. Like, it's time to change that shit and like really transform it again so that it doesn't keep showing up. And then when the Sun is conjunct Pluto on the 18th, that will be a kind of like illumination of either things that you have been maybe that have been keeping you stuck as it relates to your purpose, keeping you stuck as it relates to like your shine, like how you're allowing yourself to like put yourself out there and be seen, those kind of things. But again, this is going to show up differently for you based on what house, what area of life you have Capricorn in your chart. For me, it's in my 4th house. So I know there's going to be a lot of stuff brought up this month in my home, which it's no coincidence that I am planning to move at the end of this month. Thank the Lord. I've started to really love moving. I've done it so many times. I've probably moved 20 times in the last 2 years. Okay. So then on the 20th, we have the Sun entering Aquarius season. Yes. We might be feeling, this could go a lot of ways. This could go where there's like this division, right, between people, between what people label themselves as, Republicans versus Democrats, whatever versus whatever. Like there might be a little bit of that, but there will also be a greater coming together through that as well. And like finding your tribe. Like I feel like a lot of people are really going to find their people and their community and like where they belong during this Aquarius season. Then, like I mentioned earlier, we have Venus conjunct Saturn on the 22nd, the same day that Uranus goes direct. So this is going to be a wake-up call in terms of your finances, your self-worth, your values, and how you really need to be disciplined when it comes to that, disciplined to making the change that you've been wanting to make when it comes to those things in your life. And Uranus stationing direct is like, okay, it's time. This might feel a little bit chaotic because that's kind of the energy that Uranus brings. It's like sudden and unexpected changes, sometimes through chaos. When Uranus went into Taurus, it kind of like ricocheted me out of relying on my boyfriend at the time for housing and for food and for like security in my 8th house, and propelled me into my North Node. So Uranus brings a lot of chaos, but ultimately it's good. And it's so that you can be more aligned with your destiny, more aligned with your growth, more aligned with your potential. But it's going to come about suddenly and unexpectedly. That change and that innovation is. So that's what Uranus going direct has to bring to us, is an externalization of some sort of change that might come very suddenly and might seem a little bit chaotic. Then on the 26th, we have Venus entering Pisces, which I'm excited for because Venus is exalted in Pisces. So a lot of us will be feeling more creative, more musical, more artistic, more just like feeling good. And also, right, like I said, having these connections in our life that feel more supportive for us, that feel better. We just closed out a chapter of relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, all types of relationships in our lives. We just closed that out. And now it's time to call in the new people, the new romantic partner, whatever. And that's happening for a lot of us. And Venus and Pisces is going to kind of feel like a time to feel good about doing that, and a time to really learn how to trust our intuition when it comes to the people that we allow in our lives and not be a doormat. Right? Because we just learned that in 2022, how to really step into our worthiness. And now it's time to really be embodied in that. And then, like I said, on the 11th, right, there is conflict and challenge between your communication, between taking action, maybe a little bit of aggression too, since Chiron is in Aries, and this will be between a square between Mercury and Chiron. On the 27th, it's going to come back around externally. Maybe a conversation with a friend or family member will bring this up, depending on where you have Capricorn. That's going to prompt for some healing. And then on the 29th, the last few days of January, we have 2 trines, which is a harmonious aspect. One is between the Sun and Mars. So this will be a day to really this is like a kick to the butt, like a fire under your butt to like take action and do the thing that you've been wanting to do. Then the second trine we have on the 29th, this will also extend into the 30th as well, excuse me, is Mercury trining Uranus. So this is going to create that sudden and unexpected change, right? In your thoughts, in your mental space, or in your communication, where it's like, you just have a conversation with someone and you get an idea and you get a download, like, oh, okay, I could take this in that direction. Like, oh my gosh. And then it's like, okay, go time. Let's do it. Let's act on it. Let's make the change. Let's innovate that. Let's freaking go. And February, March, I mean, really the rest of 2023 feels really good, just energetically, without even looking at too much of the astrology right now. Like, it does feel like a time of moving forward, of really like taking fucking action. But again, it's not gonna be like a straight line. It's not linear. There's gonna be waves. There's going to be times where we feel on, where we feel good about taking action, and where we feel off, where we need to take downtime to recharge. So that is January. I'm gonna go check my Human Design ephemeris just to take another look at that. And give you guys some more insight based on the gates that the sun will be transiting through in January. So I already spoke to up until the 10th. The 11th of January, we have the sun in Capricorn moving into gate 61, which is the gate of inner truth, of inner knowing. So from the 11th until the 16th, a lot of us will kind of probably gain a lot of insight around what our truth is. Honestly, too, I mean, the 6124 channel will be in transit for that 6 days. Because the North Node is in gate 24. So with the 6124 channel in transit from the 11th until the 16th, depending on your time zone, this is in universal time. But honestly, that feels like a lot of us getting a lot of ideas and insights around like how to move forward, how to share our truth, how to share our opinions, our ideas. It's hard for me to articulate this channel. Like I have this channel, but I have Neptune here, so I don't like see it in myself. But this creates like, I mean, we've had the North Node in gate 24, so we've been returning to a lot of stuff, right? We've been revisiting a lot of stuff. And this is going to create, with the sun in gate 61 completing this channel for us for 6 days, this is going to create like just sudden and unexpected insights and mutations around your ideas and around whatever information you've been returning to look at again, to learn more deeply, that kind of thing. This is just going to be a lot of like truth revealed to you through that. And it's just going to like happen. It's just going to be super random. Like literally so many of my random, like, I guess, okay, a perfect example of this channel and me is like, I'll just like be watching a TV show. Like literally I'll be watching the Kardashians because they're just so entertaining. I just love their dialogue with each other. Like it's hilarious. And I literally just watch that because it's entertaining and it's hilarious to watch. It like brings me so much joy because I laugh the whole time. And like, I'll just get these random things like, oh my God, I wonder, like, she just said this, like, where is that in her chart, right? That's kind of like this energy of like, we'll be kind of puzzle piecing things together during this time and things will start making more sense. Especially as we have Mars going direct during that time as well. And it will be in gate 16, the gate of skills and enthusiasm. So it's like, it's time to really take seriously what you have enthusiasm over and trust that that enthusiasm is going to lead you to cultivating the skills for what it is that you're meant to share with the world, what gifts you're meant to share with the world. This is like the energy of moving from novice to master, and then from master to like teacher of something. And it starts with you just being excited and loving what you do. So that's the energy that we have Mars in for most of the month. All of January, actually, Mars will be in gate 16, which is just about having enthusiasm and taking action based on what excites you, based on what you have enthusiasm around. Wow, I'm really excited, like looking at the more detailed gates of the transits for January. On the 17th is when the sun will move into gate 60. And then, like I said, for the new moon in Aquarius, it will be in gate 60. So this is where we'll kind of be feeling that like limitation. Like we had all these ideas, right? We had all these insights, we had all these downloads, and we want to take action on them right now, but there's going to be a little bit of period of slowdown until the solar new year, really, honestly, on the 22nd, when we will have the sun in gate 41, which is the start codon. Lots of root energy this month too. Like make sure you're taking care of your adrenals, not over caffeinating, drinking lots of water, and really honoring, again, those pulses when you feel on and when you feel off, really honoring when you feel off, when honoring the downtime, because otherwise it might lead to burnout and adrenal fatigue and might bring up more of a stronger experience of your not self signature feeling, right? Whether anger for manifestors, anger and frustration for manifesting generators, frustration for generators, bitterness for projectors. Really notice when that and where that comes up this month and why that comes up and how you can check back in with your authority. And then we end the month of January with the sun in gate 19. let's see, hold up. I'm looking where Saturn is because Saturn has been in gate 49. Okay, so Saturn moves into gate 30 on the 20th. And then, so when the sun is in gate 41, so from the 22nd until the 28th of January, we might be feeling kind of emotional. There might be a lot of recognition around a lot of emotions that need to be processed and cleared, because this is going to create an emotional channel, an emotional wave that operates based on desire. So really important during this time, and just in general, but really be aware of it during these dates from the 22nd to the 27th, 28th of January, to communicate your desires, communicate your needs, communicate your expectations, or release all and any expectations. Because if you have an expectation and you don't communicate it, the person doesn't fulfill it, you're going to blow up, and that's going to create an emotional wave, right? A trajectory of a crash of that wave. So from the 22nd to the 27th, 28th of January, we will all have this emotional channel, the 4130. We will also have that. No, we won't. Okay. And then we close out the month, like I said, with the sun in gate 19, which I have this gate, but I can't remember the keynote of this gate right now. I know it's part of the, oh shoots, it's part of our connection with mammals. There's like so much to this gate. Like the 1949 channel is one of the most complex channels I think I have studied in the whole system of human design. It is so complex. It's our relationship with mammals. It's about food security. It's also an emotional wave, right? So it has a sensitivity to needs and physical touch. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm telling you guys the right keynote for this approach. So this is going to create, oh my gosh, yeah. So this is just perfect for what I said. We're going to end the energy of with the month of January is like, what do you want? What do you desire? Because that's what's meant for you. Like, what do you find yourself talking about or thinking about, saying to people? Like, this is the energy of like, all right, it's time to mutate. It's time to transform. It's time to make those changes, make those innovations, and manifest through action. Manifest our desires through action. And that's how we're going to end out January, and how we're going to lead into February. So exciting month ahead. Let me know how this resonated with you, what you're looking forward to in 2023 and in January. If you have any questions, let me know as well. But I will see you guys next time. I'm sending you so much love for the rest of the month. And yeah,